you want to capture your iPad screen on OBS Studio or want to extend your iPad display on a desktop monitor or an LCD monitor, how you can do that very, very easily, I'll explain that in today's video. And all this while charging your iPad. You need, of course, a couple of things to make this happen, but it's a very simple setup, and I'll tell you a step-by-step guide in terms of how to enable that. So let's get the video started. Now, since we want to display our iPad screen onto other peripherals, we need a connection mechanism. What you see over here is an iPad Air 5, and if you have newer generation iPads, this will work for you. If you have an older generation iPad, then there may be slight variations. So I have got an iPad Air 5, and it has a USB-C connector port over here. So what I have done is I have gone to the market and I have bought this USB-C dongle. There's something special about this USB dongle. So first of all, this USB dongle has got the connector pair as the as USB-C over here. But these all ports, they all work very, very beautifully with this iPad once I connect this. The good thing about this is it has got a USB-C pass-through. Now what we said is we want our iPad to be charging as well while we are trying to portray or while we're trying to display the image of our iPad onto other peripherals. So there is an HDMI port, which of course we need to connect. There are USB ports, there are SD card port, and there is an Ethernet port as well. But it is going to be very, very simple connection, as I will be showing in just in a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this USB-C hub. I'm going to connect that in iPad, and as soon as I do that, iPad has detected it but does not show any sign. But if you look at this hub, USB-C hub, you can see that a light turns on over here, which is an indication that the connection between the USB hub and this iPad is successful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the HDMI cable of my desktop monitor with this, and as I do that, the screen on my monitor should come up. So once I've done that, I'll just showcase my screen. So this is the screen that I have, and I'll also show the iPad which is there. So this is the iPad, and as you can see that the screen can now you see the iPad is now also being displayed on the desktop monitor. It has worked very, very beautifully with this simple connection. And this is a very cheap USB-C hub. It is not very costly. So you can see that this has worked, and this is how you can display your iPad screen on a desktop monitor or an LCD that you have at home and watch things on bigger screen. Now, what I'm going to do next is I want this my iPad also to be charged while I'm displaying the image. And so what I'm going to do is I have the USB-C cable and I'm going to plug it in this USB pass-through port. And when I do that, you can see that the iPad is now also getting charged. It is getting charged over here. My connection is still there. And if I show you my monitor, my desktop monitor, you can see that it is also charged. It is also getting charged, and you can see all the contents which are there on my iPad on the screen. So this is how you can portray your iPad screen very, very easily on a desktop monitor or an LCD. Now let's also cover that how you can showcase your iPad content on the OBS Studio. So you can see that the OBS Studio is in front of me, and I will showcase you now what are the steps that you need to do to be able to capture that. The next thing we're going to do is display our iPad screen on OBS Studio or capture our iPad screen via OBS Studio while you are capturing the other thing. You may have a requirement that you want to scribble something on iPad or maybe showcase something on iPad while you're making videos, and this process will help you do that very, very easily. You, of course, need to first connect the USB-C dongle that I showcase you, and I have plugged in the charging cable so that our iPad doesn't drain out. So that process is very, very simple, as I've already covered. And what I need is now I need another HDMI cable. This HDMI cable will be taking the output from this port, which of course we have seen as well, but this time this HDMI cable will not be plugged into a monitor, because we are not going to capture it in the monitor. What we're going to do is we're going to use a dongle like this. This is an HDMI video capture device. It has got a USB 3 port on one side and it has got an HDMI port on the other side. And I'm going to plug the other end of this HDMI cable into this HDMI video capture device. Let me do that very, very quickly. And once I've done that, we'll go into OBS Studio and we will make the connection to be able to display our iPad screen on OBS Studio. So while I'm doing that thing, I'll show you showcase iPad Studio. Okay, let me first make the connection over here as well. So let me plug this in, and now our connections, physical connections, are completed. Now let's go to OBS Studio. When you go into OBS Studio, you will be having something which which of course we have seen as well. But this time, this HDMI cable will studio or capture our iPad screen via OBS Studio. while you are capturing the other things, you may have a requirement that you want to scribble something on iPad or maybe showcase something on iPad while you're making videos and this floppy. Now let's also cover that and see that the iPad is now also getting charged. It is getting charged over here. My connection is still there, and if I show you my monitor, my desktop monitor, you can see that it is also charged. It is also getting iPad screen on a desktop monitor or an LCD that you have at home and watch things on bigger screen. Now, what I'm going to do next is I want this my iPad also to be charged while I'm display. Connection and iPad which is there. So this is that I'll just showcase my screen. So this is the screen that I have, and I'll also show the iPad which is there. So this is the iPad, and as you can see, that the screen can now be seen. The iPad is now also being displayed just in a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this USB-C hub. I'm going to connect that in iPad, and as soon as I do that, iPad has detected it but does not show any sign. But if you look at this hub, USB-C hub, you can see that a light turns on over here, which is an indication that the connection between the USB hub and this iPad is successful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the HDMI cable of my desktop monitor with this, and as I do that, the screen on my monitor should come up. So once I've done that, I'll just showcase my screen. So this is the screen that I have, and I'll also show the iPad which is there. So this is the iPad, and as you can see, that the screen can now be seen. The iPad is it but does not show any sign. But if you look at this hub, USB-C hub, you can see that a light turns on over here, which is an indication that the connection between the USB hub and this iPad is successful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the HDMI cable of my desktop monitor with this, and to be very very simple connection as I will be showing in just in a while. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this USB-C hub. I'm going to connect that is we're going to use this USB-C hub and to connect that in iPad. And as soon as I do that, iPad has detected it but does not show any sign. But if you look at this hub, USB-C hub, you can see that a light turns on over here, which is an indication that the connection between the USB hub and this iPad is successful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the HDMI cable of my desktop monitor with this, and as I do that, the screen on my monitor should come up. So once I've done that, I'll just showcase my screen. So this is a screen that I have, and I'll also show the iPad which is there. So this is the iPad, and as you can see, that the screen can now be seen. The iPad is now also displayed on the desktop.
AirPlay screen mirroring receiver. You can just type that into the search, and you'll be able to download some kind of software which will be able to behave like a Mac, right? You can see there are plenty of options, even on the official Microsoft store, which you can download for your computer, and you can basically Today we're going to bring this new little device, Mirrorcast. Now this could do up to 4K 60 hertz. This is the device you're going to set up on your TV. They give you HDMI, they give you a Type A to Type C because you do need to power it up. And most of the TVs have already a USB. All you got to do is power this up and keep this permanent. This could go behind the TV. You could do double-sided tape if you want. Now, before we start, because you're going to need this is a wireless device, and your computer has to do the wireless casting. You do need an application, and they recommend you going to www.easycast.com app, download. The device that corresponds to your device, which we have a Windows. We're going to download it, install it, set it up. Now we're going to set the little device, and the way you set it up, there's only two connections: the power and the HDMI. That's pretty much it. So very small, convenient to have in conference rooms. Push the button, will automatically take it off, take it on, right? So we're going to test it out and see how it works. All right, here's our device. There's our TV that we're going to set it up. You guys can see there is a power button. I'm going to show you the back where I connected it. Very convenient. Connect the power USB and then the HDMI. So we're going to set this up on HDMI 1. We're going to go to our inputs. There's nothing on there until there. Now, the screen is going to give you instructions if you don't have them, how to download the application. You can do it from your iPad. You can do it from any system that you have, either wireless built in or through the actual web. All right, so we can follow these instructions. Simple way to set it up. It's telling you how to cast through your actual iPad, and it gives you. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. My channel is all about tech, sneakers, unboxings, reviews, and film and photography. Today, let's do my editing setup. Okay, so to start things off, you are going to need an HDMI cord. I got this one off of Amazon. I'll link all of the cords and wires and everything in the description if you guys want to pick it up. And then what you're going to need is an HDMI to USB-C adapter. So this one also on Amazon. Once again, the link is down below. All you're going to do is basically plug one end of the HDMI cord into the adapter part here, and then the USB-C, we're going to go connect it to the iPad right now. So USB-C right into the iPad port right there. Now we're just going to plug the HDMI into the actual monitor. Now the feed is going from the iPad to the monitor, and there we go. So guys, you can see the responsiveness is actually really, really good. As I'm moving my fingers, it's going pretty much at the exact same time on the actual monitor. And if you guys have
Pretty awesome, right? Let me show you how you can screen mirror any Apple iPad to your Windows laptop, any Windows laptop. Completely free and it's wireless. And the best part is that you can do tons on this. As you can see, I'm using camera. It's working on my laptop. It's pretty cool. It's wireless, free. So let's just dive right into it. Step number one: the first thing you need to do is to make sure your laptop is connected to your home Wi-Fi connection. As you can see, I've connected my laptop, and that is pretty much it. Next up, you need to do is to download something called AirDrive Cast. Don't worry about it. I'm not getting paid by these guys. It's completely free and it's pretty awesome. So links will be in the description box below. Just download it, and installation is extremely simple. As you can see, it takes a couple of seconds. So just wait for it, and it should be almost there. You go. Once the installation is complete, if you open it up, this should look exactly like this. You will have a barcode and an actual code on your laptop, on your AirDrive Cast laptop. Next up, we need to do is to make sure your iPad is also connected to the same Wi-Fi connection as your laptop is. So in this case, just go to the settings. Inside the settings, you can find the Wi-Fi settings right at the top. And just make sure your iPad is connected to the exact same Wi-Fi connection as your laptop is connected to. Next up, what you need to do on your iPad is go to the App Store and download AirDroid Cast. Exactly, just like we did on the laptop. Again, it's completely free. Don't worry about it. All the links will be in the description box below. Once you open the Android on your iPad, you will get a couple. You will see this screen. Okay, so just give all the necessary permissions needed. I don't want the notification. And once you get this screen, this is really important. You will have a barcode option and to scan a barcode. And right next to it, there's a scanner right next to it. You can scan a barcode and you can input the code as well. Now, There's a barcode. As you can see, you have a barcode and an actual code right on your laptop. Pretty simple. It will take 3, 2, 1 second to connect your iPad screen to any laptop, any Windows laptop. Completely free and it's wireless. Now, this is really important that I really have to tell you that it will take a couple of seconds before it completely optimizes the iPad screen on the laptop. So just give it good 20 to 30 seconds, okay, depending on how fast your internet connection is. And once that's complete, it should be pretty pretty smooth. In this case, I have a pretty slow connection, and there's a tiny bit of lag, but you can do tons on this. You can use a camera if you want to. You can even watch YouTube. Whatever you do on your iPad will be displayed on your laptop. That's the most important part. This is completely free. It's not paid, and you can also go full screen